Hey guys, this is Vincent with M Help Desk. Just want to do a quick intro. This is Chris with Surefire Social. I met Chris about 2 weeks ago, and I really like how his company's doing the whole online marketing thing. So today he's just going to introduce us all to some real um, introduction to online marketing, and how internet marketing is changing for 2013. Some of the really important things. Some important changes and trends like social media and using local search for lead generation. But I'll turn it over to Chris now, and he can kind of walk us through all this stuff.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thanks for M Help Desk for setting this up, so everybody could relax. We're not going to try to sell you anything here. We're not going to. This is not a pitch discussion. It's really, um, what we want to do here is just educate you guys a little bit about how you could build your businesses through internet lead generation, and we do this for home service type businesses and real estate type businesses and doctors' offices and things like that all throughout North America. And we have a lot of experience doing it. So we just want to use this as an educational opportunity. And at the end, if you guys want to talk to us more, we'll give you an opportunity to just click yes to something. And if you want to learn more about how we could or how you guys stack up in your market, you'll be able to do that. We'll also have a couple of interactive polls throughout this just to get a better feeling for what you guys are doing now. So it helps me, hopefully tailor make the message a little bit. So hopefully you have a pen and a pad and pen out, or a Word doc, or Evernote, even better up, and you could get prepared to take some notes and hopefully get smarter at some of this stuff that we're going to talk about. So number one is who is searching for your service, and how do you find them so they could find you. And that's the first step in trying to you guys know probably already there's a lot of people searching for services like you provide on the internet. That's where everyone goes first. So the question is who are they, and how do you find them so that you could reach and influence them and get that lead. The second thing we're going to talk about is like what is SEO, and it's changing rapidly. As you guys, if anybody's kind of tapped into the blogs and our blog at surefiresocial.com, certainly will keep you tapped into it too. But it's changing rapidly, and it's broader than it used to be even a year ago. And we'll talk a little bit about what SEO really means and how you ought to think about it. We're also going to talk about this idea of the social graph and social networks and how they work together and can help you get leads, with your SEO program. And then, you know, eh, your website's your home base, and it's where you want to drive people to, and you want to convert them to a lead. So we're going to talk a little bit about what makes a website a good website that'll convert that traffic to a lead. Once you get people to it, how do you make sure that they become a lead for your business? So, there's a bunch of common questions. Like I said, we speak in a lot of places all around the country and do webinars all the time. And like I said, we have clients all across North America. And we kind of see same questions that everybody has. One of them is, how can I use the web to drive people to my site and convert them to leads and into customers? Um, Hold on a second. We're a little bit delayed here. The other is, what are necessary steps to show up in the page one of Google in search results for my local market? Most of you folks operate in a local space. You're not interested in showing up for computer repair across the country. That's probably really hard to do. But there's some things you could do, and to your advantage, to do it on a local basis. And another big question we get is social media really that important to my business? In the success of my business. I'm not on Facebook that much. Are people really on it? How does that fit in? And what we hope to do is answer those questions for you guys through this discussion. So, number one, just all, kind of this idea of where, kind of where do people look for my services? Where are they, and where do I find them? Um, you know, search changed a lot around 2007, and it changed because of technology, not only broadband but Ajax and Ruby and a bunch of different technologies kind of confluence of those technologies created things that you have heard about, like Facebook and article directories and social bookmarking sites and review sites and things like that that you probably are familiar with. And what it did was it atomized the web. So when you think about where are my people, it used to be a come to me medium where you could put up a website as a brochure, tell people about who you are, and kind of be able to survive that way. Now you got to be able to have a great website that converts traffic to leads, but you also have to figure out where people are hanging out, where they are, and then bring those people from those places to your website. And that's the trick to being successful in this new world. Search and discovery changed to now it's social media, mapping, directories, distributed content. So it could be kind of overwhelming. And what we hear from a lot of business owners is like, hey, Chris, how do I keep up with all that? What do I do to kind of operate in that environment? We're going to talk to you a little bit about that as we go forward. A good way to think about it is this diagram on the right, where you've got this atomized web in all these different places. And the trick is having a keyword strategy as a platform. What do you want to be discoverable for? What do people who are looking for your services, how are they searching? What's the keywords and phrases that they're doing that with? And then making sure that you kind of have a laser focus on a handful of those so you can win them, and then use those keywords and phrases in this distributed web and drive that to the right places within your website. And you don't want to just do that to your homepage. That's the big mistake we see a lot of small business owners doing. You want to drive that to different parts of your website as well. Okay. Um, you want to be able to add, kind of authority to a landing page around, let's say, computer repair, you know, um, and then you might want to, have a, PC repair for one landing page and Mac repair for another landing page based on the kind of keywords that you're trying to do. And, just to kind of give you this idea of like, a hint of where we're going with this thing, social signals are becoming increasingly a more important signal for search engines. And we have a little quote here from Google that sort of reinforces how important these social signals are becoming in this whole new world. I want to launch a poll real quick here. Um, and I'd like you guys to answer it. Um, just real quick, anybody who's on the webinar, do you consider internet marketing to be a critical to lead generation success for your business? I'd love to just get an idea of, and is it important for you? I'm going to leave this poll open for like another 10 seconds. Looks like we're getting really good participation. Come on, 10 more seconds. If you haven't voted, vote. It helps us all understand better. All right, we're going to close the poll now and we'll show you the numbers. So it looks like about 80% of you think that the internet is important to your lead generation success. About 20% of you do not, which will be interesting to get your perspective. By the way, guys, if you have questions, put them in the question box below. We're going to try to get to those questions late, but if they make sense and we can address them now, we will. Oh, I know you'll see presentation. Okay, now you can see it. Everybody can see the presentation. Sorry about that. All right, so let's get back to the presentation. So all these changes happened in 2007. We're at another major turning point in this idea of lead generation. Most of you should be familiar with what's called the purchase funnel. And what's interesting, and I didn't know this until recently, is that that purchase funnel, this idea of a consumer going through these four stages of awareness to interest to desire to action, was actually created in 1896. Um, let me see, not seeing presentation. Here we go. Now can everybody see it? Hopefully you can. Sorry about that. So in 1896, it started this idea of a purchase funnel, which is pretty interesting because I don't know what they were selling then, like horse and buggy whips or something. It hasn't changed since then. But, with social media, there's a huge opportunity now to take that customer at that point of satisfaction when you've delivered your service, they like that service, right? What you're able to do now is take that and explode that funnel out through the bottom using Web 2.0 and social media types of tactics, where you're getting that person, that customer, the satisfied customer, to give you a review on Google Plus Local or Yelp or one of the other review sites that are really, really important. Or you're getting a testimonial video and posting it on Facebook and on YouTube and other places, where what you're able to do is take that customer, now that lead you paid for, you made them into a customer, and now you're able to create more value as that satisfied customer by using the social media in a more in a powerful, interesting way. Okay, so this idea of the social web changes everything. And you're going to see this become more pronounced over the next 3 to 5 years. In search engine optimization, okay, the last 15 years of search engine optimization has been about content links and managing content links in order to borrow authority from one site and drive it to your site. And it worked pretty well. And the algorithms always changed, and then SEO companies like ours would change with it. And some were more successful than others. We've been pretty successful at that. But what the social web means is that people are becoming links. And what's going on now is search engines are trusting people links more than they're trusting content links. So you're going to see over the next few years them dialing in their algorithms people links more than content links. And the reason why, look at it this way: when you want to do a review on Yelp, or one of your customers want to do a review on Yelp, 3 years ago, they could just go on Yelp and put in their name, Chris, and just put in a review, and it stuck, and everything was fine. But it pissed off a lot of people because some people were gaming the system and put it, using their friends or family to put in reviews. Today, if you want to do a review on Yelp, you've got to have a profile, and then you put in a review, and that review actually gets audited manually until you develop a reputation for doing good reviews. And there's an algorithm of a review filter within Yelp that actually does that. So what's going on now is search engines are clued into that. So they're starting to say, like, gee, if I've got this profile of this person who does the review, then I know how many people like them on Facebook, and I know that network of people and what their reputations are like. They're starting to use their index of the web to actually take a picture of what people are and kind of who they're linked to, and develop a reputation around that in a much more powerful way than content links. So that gives you a high view of how important social media is becoming in the future. Google Plus is just an example of this. Now, if you want to do a review for a company on Google, you've got to have a Google Plus account. If you want to put pictures into Panoramio, their photo exchange site, which everybody should be using because you can geotag photos, and it's a great web signal, search engine signal. You've got to have a Google Plus account. If you want to have a YouTube account, you've got to have a Google Plus account. So Google is starting to take this idea within their own services environment and be able to and kind of and using this idea of registration and reputation. And that's a glimpse of where they're going more broadly with the internet. And in a word, it's all about trust, right? They trust what they see because they trust a profile. They trust you've done a few reviews. They haven't gotten flagged by anybody, and they trust that link more than they trust a content link. So being able to start to operate as a business and find ways to participate in these different social sites, posting things, getting new friends in an organic, natural looking way are going to be more important in the future for you. Search engines are actually, they're competitive with one another. Google still dominates with 70% market share, but they're all interested. Bing's now competing, trying to provide the best answer, and that's why they're all cluing in to the social search more. So what does it mean to you guys as a small business owner? It means the world's changed. It's no longer about just getting the leads, but as I showed you in the last chart, it's how do you monetize that lead and then blow out the bottom of that funnel using social media in the form of activating your customers to give you reviews, comment on your Facebook business page, doing things that are going to help get them more active and drive your visibility and your engagement in these social networks. Okay. So, every person interaction, the way to think about it is a social signal for your business, and you want to be able to try to do that going down the road. Just to kind of punctuate how important this has become, Search Metrics did a study. This is a recent study from this fall that looked at about 98%, something like that, of all the searches on Google. And they tried to put in place ranking factors based on the algorithms and ranking factors of these search results. And you can see here that number of backlinks are still important, but Facebook shares, Facebook total, Facebook comments, likes, tweets. There's a lot of things in social networks that are becoming more important signals in ranking factors for businesses. Okay. So, what is the social graph? I don't know how many of you have heard that term, um, but the social graph is just simply how people interconnect my friends on Facebook, my friends on LinkedIn, my friends on Google Plus, my friends in Flickr. They see all that, how they're interconnected, who those friends' profiles are, what they tend to post. So, and then individual reputations are shaped from that. And it's all shaped from people sharing, reading, and engaging in content. So you as an individual and your business as a business wants to participate in this social graph in different ways. Okay. So here's what we call the money slide for all of our sales guys that are here and when they walk through this with clients. Okay, what does it take to win? For you guys as a small business owner, you know that people are looking for your services on the internet. And if you go to Google keyword tool, it's free and it's open. You just search Google keyword tool and it'll come up, and you could actually look for, just take a guess of what you think people are searching for your different services on. It'll show you the number of people a month, and you can just put in your metro area if you want to, and just kind of try to consolidate it to your local market as best you can. So you can see how many people are looking for services that you provide every month, right? Well, how do you become visible in your market so that you could get more than your fair share of leads versus your competitors? And that's the trick, right? Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of tools. You guys probably get pitched by a million, SEO companies, website building companies, email marketing companies, all this stuff every day. Um, but Seth Gooden, who's someone I follow, I actually almost went to work for him before I went to work at AOL as a senior vice president there in indirect marketing. But had a really clever statement. He said, "Well, right now tools are so cheap on the internet, content management systems and different things to do. So having them isn't that much of an advantage. It's the knowledge of knowing how to use them. Hopefully, we're giving you guys that knowledge in this discussion today. But you basically need, kind of four things operating together in a coordinated way in order to be more visible than your competition. Okay. And that's the key. Well, the biggest um, mistake we see small business owners doing is they get, like, some designer to do their website, and it's not really structured based on marketing principles and what the right landing pages should be and what you want to organize around keyword structure and what the right conversion mechanisms might be. And then, you want your SEO strategy on page and off page, your link building off page, to be coordinated to that website as well. And then you want your social media strategy, again, with your profiles you create, the people that you try to friend, and the influencers you try to friend and be part of, and the things you try to post should all have, those keywords and be a part of that operational plan that you've got. And then, of course, your pay per click should also kind of be coordinated with that plan, because if you could land, and own the pay per click words and the natural search words and the words in the mapping in Google, then you're going to get more than your fair share of leads on that search engine results page. So, having a coordinated strategy across these four things, and we'll talk in more detail about that in a minute. The problem, obviously, is for a small business owner. What I hear a lot is like, "Hey, Chris, you know what? I got to run my business. I got to run my teams out there servicing my customers and being up to speed on how well they're doing and how well they're performing and organizing and make sure we have the right parts and all that other stuff. I don't necessarily have the time to do this." And one of the things that we do as a company is we operate the internet marketing for small businesses across North America in a turnkey way, but a comprehensive, personalized way. So it's a tailor made program for your individual business. Now, I'm going to launch another quick poll here. It might disrupt my screen a little bit for a second, but let me do this. Um, what I want to ask you guys is, how do you guys feel about your website right now? Do you feel like you're generating leads from your website right now? Do you feel it's a lead generation, or is it more of a brochure for you? Love to get your okay. Give it another 10 seconds or so. Come on, anybody who hasn't voted, please give us your vote. It helps us all better understand the audience and where you guys are at. Another 5 seconds. Good, we got good participation. Okay, I'm going to close the poll. Got really good participation on this. So it looks like 30% of you guys feel like you've got a website that is generating leads for you. At 70%, a majority feel like right now you don't. And I would say that, you know what, it's good that you know there's an issue, and you could solve that issue by doing some simple things. We'll go through this stuff one at a time now, and maybe it'll help give you some ideas. And at the end, if you want some one-on-one help, one of our professional consultants could get on the phone and give you some ideas too. Um, so here's an example of a website, and the idea, when I say properly structured, um, number one, this just happens to be the home page, but it's a simple and easy layout. The phone number, about you typically, we record every phone call for our clients, and we track it in Google Analytics as a lead. So we track and measure everything, which you guys ought to be doing, because that's the way you optimize. There's never, in internet marketing today, there's not about a destination. You do something, you leave it alone. There's always an opportunity to optimize stuff, and if you're not tracking and measuring, you can't optimize. So so we even we have unique phone numbers that get answered by the client, but we actually record the phone call, and we record it as a lead, as a phone call lead in Google Analytics, where we could see all the leads, including that form fill you see there. Typically, we have three different types of conversion mechanisms on every landing page. So a landing page would be a home page, and then you see here a services tab right here, where we would have tile roofing, asphalt roofing, roof repair, storm damage. We'd have a bunch of different landing pages based on keywords that we would want to try to win for this client. And we want to have a phone number really prominent. We want to have a request a quote. Get that person who might be not ready to, I need help right now. I want to call you, but I want to see how you're going to interact with me. And then we also have sort of an ebook or a handbook or some kind of educational piece on every page too, so that someone who's more upper funnel, they're more in the educational, they're upper funnel, they want to be educated first before they're ready to kind of engage with somebody. But you as a brand, you want to get them educating, you want to be the one educating them so that they're more likely to buy your brand when they get down funnel. And by the way, you could have some nurturing types of things that you're doing to your list as you build a list, as people kind of, give you their name and email addresses and stuff like that to drive them down funnel. So that's kind of an example of how you want to do a website. And then you want to do kind of on page, optimization on the website. And so you want to make sure that you're organized, you're around keywords and different keywords that you're trying to be visible for. Um, you want to search engine friendly design, and you want to use content management systems like we like WordPress. Joomla is another good one. That there's built-in code that makes it really search engine friendly, and there's ways that you could program it to make it really attractive to search engines as well. And you want to make sure you've got the right page titles and meta tags. You can see here in this example of a search engine results page listing for Aries Roofing, the title tags and the descriptions. And not only does it win in natural search, but it also wins here. You could see with the pin in the mapping application here too. So it's key to be in that local directory listing in your Google Plus local. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then blogging is really, really important. At least blogging twice a month. Again, using your keywords if you can in the titles or subtitles of the page, and at least once within the page. Don't keyword stuff it. But blogging is a really important tactic for making your site visible today. And then off-page SEO, including things like, link building by borrowing, borrowing from authority sites and bringing that to your site. The old days of website link building used to be you got a lot of different URLs and built fake fake websites on those URLs and pointed to it. But the problem is those sites have zero authority. But now what you could do is like sites like Facebook, for example, article directory sites, um, PR, sites have high page rank and authority, and by distributing content to those places, you could, in a very organized, methodical way, drive high quality links into your site. Um, One of the things that you could be doing too, by having a blog, for example, by creating content like an ebook, like we talked about, infographics is something that we do a lot now with our clients too. You could take high quality content, put them in different places where people want to grab it and then use it in other places. And you could take with one piece of high quality content or a really good blog post, create thousands of high quality links in a natural way with content. So you want to be able to have off page SEO where you're using content to create links. And then social media optimization. Social media is being used by small businesses like you guys today in a lot of different ways. Um, you know, uh, you know, and the other thing about social media is that your customers are on it and they may be talking about you too. So you want to make sure that you've got, number one, your ear to the ground in social media, and you've got the right types of tools set up so that you could find out if people are posting reviews or talking about you. And there's really easy ways to do that. Um, Facebook by far is the number one marketing tool for small businesses. And one of the big mistakes we see, um, small businesses do is they kind of try to do everything at once. Facebook and Twitter and Google Plus and LinkedIn and Pinterest and um, you probably don't have enough resources internally and even content and things that you'll need to feed those machines to do it really effectively. It should sort of be like a sort of unpeeling an onion, like start somewhere, and that probably should be Facebook for most companies, and do that well and get in a rhythm of doing it well, and then sort of unpeel that and go to other places. So we talked about Facebook. 58% of users return daily. 50% of smartphones are connected to Facebook every hour. So it's a huge opportunity from a marketing standpoint for companies. And again, one of the things to do with Facebook is magnify your content, blog posts, um, you know, handbooks, um, you know, thoughts about things. If you're going to a home show or an event, you're going to be attending that, letting people know about it. The key is to start to get followers, get people that are following you. With Facebook, there's a couple of easy strategies. Number one is you could now take your database of customers, upload it into Facebook in something called a power editor, and do a like campaign against those people who already know your brand. That's a great way to expand your likes really quickly. Directory listings and Google optimization are really really important. There's a few directories, Google Plus, which is their local mapping product, which we show you can see the 7 pack and search engine results pages. There's also obviously Bing Local and Yahoo Local, but there's about 6 different Google services that under your Google profile and email address, you should register your business within, that could really help you get to the front and center of Google and be really Google friendly. That's Google Plus, Google Profile, Google Plus, which becomes your profile. If you've already have a Google profile, it'll become a Google Plus page. If you didn't have a Google profile, you do a Google Plus page, and then do a Google Plus local page, something called Google authorship for your blog. It really makes your blog very visible to search engines. And then they've got Panoramio, obviously YouTube, and Google Reader, but having a consistent profile attached to those Google services and using them regularly will make you very, very visible to Google really, really quickly. Okay. And then have your H card data, which is basically your name, address, phone number, email address, uploaded to 350 key directories. And there's different services that help you do that. We do that for our clients automatically. Um, and then Yelp, Angie's List if you're in the home service category, and Yellow Pages are also important. And we have a special service called our Google Magnet program that actually does all this stuff turnkey for our clients. And then pay-per-click involves there's a lot of nuance to pay-per-click that a lot of people don't understand, um, but it's around having enough ad groups, using negative keywords so you could drive your efficiencies and cost per click down when there's very competitive markets for clicks, making sure you're doing the right research, the right keywords, have really focused landing pages associated with ad groups. um, you know PPC is something you got to continuously be optimizing and A/B split testing. Be conscious of your quality score, because the higher your quality score, the lower your cost per acquisition, and make sure that you're geographic targeted. I can't tell you how many local businesses that we've taken over their pay per click, and whoever was doing it before actually had it running on a national basis, sometimes for a year or more, and they didn't even know it. They were just wasting money. Here's an example of a landing page for one of our clients' metro offices, where it's got the form fill, but we've got the kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, make a process really easy. Select your address, choose, your service. So we make it really easy, and this is performed really, really well. So having the right kind of structured landing page, and that's different than your website normal landing page, um, to make your pay-per-click really, really effective. Okay. This is like the glamour don't. This is like the glamour don't of landing pages. You don't know where your eyes should go. You don't know what you should do. Very, very confusing. So one of the other things that a lot of business owners ignore is the fact they spend a lot of money to get a lead. You get a lead, get someone to give their name and address on your website, either through a request a quote or an ebook download or sign up for your, whatever. but you don't, or you put them in a database from your phone, but you don't have a nurturing campaign to make it viral, number one, so people could share, with their friends in case someone else is looking for a service like yours. um, and also kind of, they might not be at the exact moment ready to buy your service, but you want to remind them once a month. So newsletters are a great way to do that. If you don't have some sort of an e-newsletter component to what you're doing, that's something that we do for our clients. We have a really easy turnkey package that makes running a newsletter really, really easy. So I kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, but internet marketing shouldn't be a mystery to anybody. The good news is everything is measurable and trackable. And if you measure and track stuff, you'll start to think about it as an investment, which you should, versus an expense. I'm spending money on something. You realize you're investing in your business and building your business. So, you really kind of could create a model of, what's the total number of monthly searches I could be in play for in my market? What percent of those visitors could I get to my website or touch them in my Facebook landing page or whatever? And what percent of those could I convert to some kind of a lead, a phone call, a request a quote, a ebook download, and then how many appointments do they become if you're if you do in-home selling or in-home visits, and then what percent of those become a sale, and then you can kind of figure out the lifetime value of a customer once you kind of do this long enough, so that becomes a giant math equation, and that's really what, as a small business owner, you'll be much more comfortable from your own business standpoint and sanity, to know that you've got it creates predictability in your business. So how to kind of get your target revenue? Properly budget for internet marketing. If you don't have a budget, start to think about some kind of a budget for, and you got to think about it broadly, like, your website. Your website probably needs some kind of maintenance and updating, and you need some kind of SEO going on it. You know, um, you know, uh, content creation, like blog posts minimally, maybe a few other things. You know, have a process and workflow. What could you do within your own company? What do you have to outsource to do? These are all things that you ought to be thinking about as you approach people to help you and get ideas to help you. So what we do, this is just our little pitch, is high performance web design. We design and deploy websites and host them on WordPress content management systems. We do laser focused search engine marketing just for local marketers. That's all we do. And we do it for companies all across North America and Australia and in some cases Europe. We do really effective pay-per-click campaigns that support those two things. We build e-newsletter services. We have our Google Magnet program I mentioned, where we take care of all those directories. And the key differentiator for us is we have a personalized um, expert that works with implementation and reporting. We go through a report minimally once a month where we show you how many leads, where you are in search engines, and traffic, and so you understand those metrics that we just talked about, and what kind of content we ought to be creating, and setting in place a plan, which is so important, and sometimes businesses need help doing that. So actionable next steps for you guys, if you've never had kind of an analysis done of how do you stack up in your local market? Get one done. Who are your top two or three competitors that you consider your competitors? How do you stack up with them? What are they doing right? What are they doing wrong? So you know what you need to do to kind of get visible and get in the game and start to compete for those searches that are being done in your market. Um, and when you do that, you're going to be able to do a few of these other things like reevaluate. Do you have the right keyword strategies and do some of that research? Optimize your website structure the way we talked about. Do you have the three different conversion mechanisms? Do you have landing pages beyond your home page for different keywords that are kind of a little bit longer tail that can help you win and really win in those places? Make sure you're listed in the right online directories and complete those profiles, including putting up pictures and encouraging people to do reviews where it makes sense and things like that. And use social media and post regularly. Start with Facebook, but make sure they're complete and you're doing it regularly. So those are the next things to do, and increase your data and leverage your database. Um, so we do personalized, comprehensive strategies. SurefireSocial.com is our website. Make sure you friend us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter and on Google Plus. I'm going to ask one last question, and that is, I talked about a visibility analysis earlier. If anybody is serious about wanting to, do internet right and take their business to the next level, um, we have a free 30-minute consultation. We'll do a lot of research on your brand, your website, your presence versus your top two or three competitors, and give you an opportunity to kind of go through and give you two or three good ideas um, of how you might be able to increase your effectiveness. And if you think we could help, great. If not, no harm, no foul. The only thing I ask is if you want us to do that, it's a lot of work on our side, that you are serious and you're ready to take your business to the next level. You want to try to figure it out. So I'll give you guys another couple of minutes to answer that and see if there's any other questions here. Okay, anybody have any questions you want to put in the question box? Now is the time to do it. Free consulting. Um, I don't see a lot of good messages saying this is good and helpful for you guys. I appreciate that feedback. Um, I don't know, Ryan. Do you have any questions that come to mind, having kind of listened to this now? All right. Well, listen, guys.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Chris?
Oh, now I can. Now I can.
Hey, sorry about that. No, I thought this was great. And as far as the lead, the lead capture forms, I think that's really important as well. When I come across, I'll look at a lot of our customers' websites and I'll notice that a lot of them they won't have, the actionable phone number or the call to action as far as the free quote request on the website. I thought that was really good and helpful. And what we've seen, on our site, we've tested a ton of different buttons, colors, messages, and that sort of thing, and we've kind of found, like you were saying, through constant testing, nothing is, keeping everything dynamic and tweaking it to find out, what is the best thing to use to get those high conversions. So I think this was super helpful, and I think a lot of our customers, I'd love to kind of see implement these strategies so that they can, once they do drive people to their site, convert them into a paid customer and then have that lifelong relationship. So
Yeah. Good. Thank you. Thank you for that. Yeah, and you're right. A couple of people asked about the slides and if you'll get them, and I'll give these to Ryan, and he'll be able to he'll send this out to folks, or I'll have Alexa, one of our people here, send this out to you guys.
He's talking to us. I can't hear him.
okay, great.
All right, guys. Listen, thank you for coming here. Those who said yes on the visibility report, you'll be getting a call from someone in our office to set up that time to go through it. They'll probably set up a preliminary call to ask some questions about who your competitors are and stuff. So expect that call in the next couple of days. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Chris.